位记者朋友，大家下午。
Good afternoon. Welcome to our press conference. First, announcements. The 19th Forum on Chinese Modernization and the World will be held at the Grand Halls in Shanghai on April 21st. State Councilor and Foreign Minister Qin Gang will attend the opening ceremony and deliver a keynote speech. The forum is expected to host foreign dignitaries, prestigious experts and scholars, business leaders, foreign diplomatic envoys, and representatives of international organizations in China and representatives from international media. The forum is jointly organized by the China Public Diplomacy Association, the Chinese People's Institute of Foreign Affairs, and the Shanghai Municipal People's Government. Under the theme of Chinese modernization in the world, the forum consists of 3 panel sessions and a launching with the business community for exchanges on topics including the new development of China, better global governance, closer people-to-people exchanges, and pursuing high-standard opening up. Now, questions, please.
央视记者提问：近日，国际货币基金组织发布的新一期全球金融稳定报告指出，美
CCTV, the IMF's Global Financial Stability Report 2023 points out that the recent turmoil in the U.S. banking sector has increased the risks of global financial stability, was China's comment. We noted the report, global financial stability bears on the recovery and development of the world economy and the common interests of all, and requires the world's common efforts. The notable global financial risks have much to do with the aggressive adjustments of the monetary policies in the U.S. and other developed countries. Many shared the view that the economic and financial policies of the U.S. pose the biggest challenge to global financial stability. The massive interest rate hikes by the U.S. Federal Reserve since last year have significantly increased global financial costs and exacerbated disorderly international capital flows. This has led to the bankruptcy or takeover of some banks in the U.S. and Europe, and has also made things more difficult for emerging markets and developing countries, which is not conducive to the stability and recovery of the world economy and common development. Research shows that commercial creditors hold almost half of the debt of debt-burdened countries. Since last year, the higher interest rates of developed countries, including the U.S., have increased the debt burden of the countries concerned, plunging them into a vicious cycle of debt repayments and exposing them to debt default. We urge the U.S. and other developing countries to prudently assess the spillover effects of their economic and financial policies, stabilize market expectations in a timely manner, and avoid creating adverse shocks to global financial stability. We call on developed countries to listen to the developing countries about what they actually think and urgently need, provide tangible help to countries in difficulty, stop paying lip service and shifting blame, and step up to their responsibility for maintaining global financial stability and promoting global economic recovery. Next one, please.
Yonhap News Agency, ROK President Yoon So-yeol talked about Taiwan question in an interview with Reuters. He said, the international community should stand together to uphold the change of status quo in the Taiwan Straits. Do you have any comments?
世界上只有一个中国。
There is but one China in the world. Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory. The Taiwan question is purely China's internal affair and is at the core of China's core interests. Resolving the Taiwan question is a matter for the Chinese and brook no external interference. In recent days, the tensions behind the fundamental reason behind the tensions in the Taiwan Strait is separatist activities and foreign support. Taiwan independence and peace and stability across the strait is irreconcilable as fire and water. The DPRK and the ROK are both sovereign countries with UN membership. The Korean Peninsula issues and the Taiwan question are not comparable, as their nature and history are completely different. This is a fact known to all. It is hoped that the ROK side will earnestly abide by the spirit of the China-ROK joint communique on the establishment of diplomatic relations, stay committed to the One China principle, and handle the Taiwan question prudently. Next question, please.
Thank you. Question from AFP. Authorities in the Central African Republic stated yesterday that they believe a rebel group called Coalition of Patriots for Change is responsible for the killing of 9 Chinese miners in an attack last month. Does China agree with this assessment or have any other updates on the matter? Thank you.
中非的政府表示，调查结果显示，在中非被杀害的。
表示强烈。
China strongly condemn the attack. We are keeping close communication with Central Africa, and we will investigate the case in a stronger manner and brought the criminals to justice. Next question, please.
今日报记者提问，我们注意到4月18号美国枪支暴力档案网站的最新。
According to latest data on April 18 from the Gun Violence Archive, there have been at least 164 mass shootings in the U.S. this year, bringing the total gun deaths to 12,000. A latest CBS News YouGov survey shows that 61% of the Americans interviewed report feeling frustrated over the political gun debate, and 77% of parents say their kids express worry over gun violence. Do you have any comment? I noted relevant reports and that some U.S. media call mass shootings their national shame. Year after year, the U.S. publishes thousands of pages of annual human rights reports on countries of the world and dictates to them about their human rights record. But can't the U.S. just for once do something actually meaningful for protecting its people and tackle its gun violence problem? Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。新华社记者提问。据报道，古巴10届全。
The 10th legislature of the National People's Power Assembly in Cuba elected the new leadership on April 19, and Diaz-Canel was re-elected president of the country. Do you have any comment? We congratulate Cuba on the election of its new leadership and express congratulations to President Miguel Diaz-Canel on his re-election. We believe under the strong leadership of the Communist Party of Cuba and Cuba's new leadership, Cuba will score greater achievements in pursuing a prosperous and sustainable socialist cause. China and Cuba are good friends who trust each other, good comrades committed to the same cause, and good brothers sharing weal and woe. China will, as always, support Cuba in following a development path that suits its national realities, work with Cuba to follow through on the important consensus between the two leaders, continue to deepen mutual political trust, step up cooperation, build a China-Cuba community with a shared future, and move forward the bilateral relations in the new era. Next question, please.
Thank you. Another from AFP. The United States Department of Commerce has announced a fine of $300 million on American data storage company Seagate Technology for violating U.S. export restrictions on Huawei. Does the Foreign Ministry have any comment on this? Thank you.
I'm not aware of the specifics. I want to stress that China firmly opposes an overstretch of national security concept and abusing states' power to suppress Chinese companies. We will safeguard the legitimate and lawful rights and interests of Chinese companies. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。深圳卫视执新闻记者提问：据报道，日本日中友好议员刘。
Shenzhen TV, according to reports, Toshihiro Nikai, former Secretary General of Japan's Liberal Democratic Party, became chairman of the Japan-China Friendship Parliamentarians Union at the organization's plenary meeting, where it was also decided that the union will work towards a visit to China in June. Do you have any comment? Mr. Nikai is a veteran statesman. The Union is one of the 7 major Japanese organizations promoting friendship with China. Mr. Nikai and the Union have long been dedicated to promoting exchange and cooperation between Japan and China. We are glad to know that Mr. Nikai has become the Union's new chairman and stand ready to strengthen exchange and cooperation with the Union. Next question, please.
还有其他的问题吗？
Anything else?
Last one from AFP. A report this week by the Washington-based think tank Center for Strategic and International Studies shows that construction at a Chinese research station in Antarctica has resumed for the first time since 2018. This has caused concern in Australia and other Western countries about its possible use for surveillance by China. Does the Foreign Ministry have any response to these concerns or details on the research station in Antarctica?
美国战略政策研究中心近日最新的研究表示，中国又重启了自2018年以来暂停的在南极的一个科研项目建设。那么这引起了澳大利亚等国的担忧中国用此项目来进行监视。你对此有何评论？能否提供更多细节？
Could you repeat that question, please?
Yes. A report this week by Washington-based think tank Center for Strategic and International Studies shows that construction at a Chinese research station in Antarctica has resumed for the first time since 2018. This has caused concern in Australia and other Western countries about the base's possible use for surveillance by China. Does the Foreign Ministry have any response to these concerns or details on the research station? Thank you.
华盛顿研。
我们认为你所提到的有关的。
We believe your concern is unnecessary. China, as a consulting party to the Antarctica Treaty, has taken out relevant activities in accordance with the treaty, and our activities are in accordance with the international rules. Our research will help increase international understanding on the Antarctica and promote peace and sustainable development in Antarctica. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。中新社记者提问：4月20日是联合国中。
China News Service, April 20 is the UN Chinese Language Day. We saw that various activities have been held at the UN headquarters by UNESCO and in China, Brazil, Saudi Arabia and other countries. Can you share more with us? This year marks the 14th UN Chinese Language Day. Chinese is an official language of the UN and one of the most spoken languages in the world. It has actively conveyed the voice and proposals of the UN and made important contribution to the smooth running of the UN, communication and exchange between countries and the development of multilateralism. In 2010, the UN selected Guyu, or Rain of Millet, which is one of the 24 solar terms in the traditional Chinese calendar, as the date for the Chinese Language Day. For more than a decade, the UN headquarters and offices in many countries have held diverse activities to mark this day, providing a window for people to have a better understanding of the Chinese culture. We are happy to see that more and more foreign friends are getting to know a diverse, multifaceted and amicable China as it is by learning the Chinese language. I have also noted that many of the foreign journalists here can ask a question in fluent Chinese. So far, over 180 countries and regions have launched Chinese language education, and 82 countries have included it in their national curriculum. The number of people learning Chinese overseas has exceeded 30 million, and a total of nearly 200 million people have learned or used Chinese outside China. Today, the Center for Language Education and Cooperation, in collaboration with global partners, has launched this year's International Chinese Language Day with the theme Chinese Language Facilitating Dialogues Across Civilizations, to experience the charm of the Chinese language and the Chinese culture with language learners and culture enthusiasts worldwide. Now please enjoy a video clip we have prepared for you.
government has incorporated Chinese language teaching into our national school curriculum, and our students have the option of learning Chinese at New Zealand schools.
وجودا منذ عام 2007 حيث تخرج أكثر من 2500 طالب وطالبة سعوديين يتحدثون اللغة الصينية، مما أسهم في زيادة التبادل المعرفي والتواصل البشري بين شعبي البلدين السابقين.
Thanks to this joint activity, we have successfully started online Chinese classrooms.
It is very important in making China and Brazil and promoting the strength of their languages.
中国学习中文，加深中英两之间的联系。
We see the learning of the Chinese language as not only laying the groundwork for students and staff to easily participate in the educational activities in China, but also to open up a lot more educational, business, and social opportunities.
我也希望能有更多的人学习汉语，是爱汉语。
我在汉语桥又认识来自全世界的中文爱好者。
我们欢迎世界各地。
We welcome more and more people across the world to learn the Chinese language, and we welcome more and more foreign journalists will ask questions in Chinese. President Xi Jinping put forth the Global Civilization Initiative, calling for joint efforts to advocate the respect for the diversity of civilizations and upholding equality, mutual learning, dialogue, and inclusiveness. China is ready to promote exchange and cooperation of the Chinese language, use the language as a bridge, and bring our people closer. By so doing, we can deepen communication between civilizations and add more vitality to world civilization. The wide application of the Chinese language is an epitome of the deepening cooperation between China and the EU. China firmly upholds the UN-centered international system and supports the central role of the UN in international affairs. We will advocate true multilateralism, follow the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, participate in the work of the UN, and make new greater contribution to building a human community with a shared future. Next question, please.
还有其他的问题吗？
Anything else?
没有的话，今天的记者会到。
That's all for today. Thank you.